So hop to us, eh?
License number 38961.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Final Four is set as Duke, Auburn, Houston, and Florida are all headed to the Alamo City. All the one seeds, last time this happened was once again in San Antonio back in 2008. It gets underway Saturday. Florida will take on Auburn, then Duke will take on Houston following that. Stephen Jones spoke at the league's owners' meetings over the weekend, saying he feels good about the early stages of contract talks with pass rusher Micah Parsons.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pleasure wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pleasure. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining, whether that's on 94.1 on your FM dial. If you happen to be listening online via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player at sasportstar.com, or if you happen to be watching live via our YouTube app, that's right. We stream all of our shows live on YouTube. Just go there. Search SA Sports Star. Go ahead, like, subscribe. You're able to comment along with the show, or feel free to call in at any time if you want to talk. 656-ESPN, 210-656-3776 if you want to be a part of the conversation. And as you heard in Sports Center, that is right. The college basketball world descends upon San Antonio this week as the Final Four is set between Florida, Auburn, and Duke and Houston. Couple of 4 number one seeds. The only other time this has happened, once again, was in San Antonio back in 2008. San Antonio, the city of the one seeds. And earlier this morning, Rob Thompson, AJ Hoffman, earlier on the morning huddle, talking about the road to San Antonio and what we expect to see from it.
We got our Final Four here. I think San Antonio's got to feel pretty happy with the draw that we got here.
It's a heavyweight match. You invited the big hitters, and here they come.
Now, I feel like Duke, obviously a national brand, they're gonna be here in full swing. I would imagine Florida travels really well.
They will this year, yeah.
I wonder a little about Auburn. And there's going to be a good Houston contingent here, but I guess maybe if you were picking at things as the host city, maybe you wish that Houston would not have been the team to be in, because if they lose on Saturday, they're going to go home. But whereas if Tennessee fan is here, they're going to have a return Thursday. They're going to have a return flight on Tuesday,
or normally it's longer than that. Normally, if they'll book a full week. We've, at least from my time working down on the river, that after the Final Four, you'd see hotels stay full and business stay active for 4 or 5 days afterwards. People just end up staying for a minute. So
that's the one downside to having a somewhat local team is if they lose, they go home.
Yeah,
they're not staying extra nights when they could be in their own
But I'll
place.
tell you what, the hotels will be full. That's not a problem with this one, because you have
you also had that golf tournament on the same weekend.
So this year, that's not an issue. It's if the Houston fan loses, they'll party on Saturday, but they're gone Sunday morning.
Yeah.
They're going to head home. So that's a quarter gone. And the other half, the worst kept secret in sports is getting a ticket to the championship game is pretty easy, because half the teams are going home.
Wait till Sunday.
If you don't have your tickets yet, San Antonio, just hold out. There'll be half the building will be available Saturday night.
Although that's the other thing. If Houston wins Saturday,
this place is going to be
it might be a tougher ticket than normal, because
Yes.
You tell me on short notice, you can drive 3 hours and watch your team play for a title.
They'll be available, but snapped up at a price. Absolutely.
Now,
That's a dream come true.
Now, that's unfortunately, Houston probably has the smallest of the fan bases of those programs.
Yeah, I wonder if the rest of the country knows what we know about Houston. That at its heart is still a commuter school. At its heart, there really isn't a home base. There's a lot of University of Houstons, you know?
Yeah, but what they do, I think they're quickly learning is the basketball program is legit, and the fans of that program are legitimately rabid.
I know Houston's ate up. I have friends from Houston that, they're basketball fans, but they're Houston Rocket fans secondary. I mean, once the Cougars are done, then they dive into the Rocket fan.
I personally was devastated. I almost had 4 out of my 4 Final Four correct. Yeah. Texas Tech, what a massive choke job down the stretch, unfortunately, for Grant McCaslin's boys. And
it was a cascade of events. I'm not mad at them. Big Boy got in early foul trouble. So that first half, when they could have maybe put some gaps in there, they didn't have their best dude in there for about 12 minutes. And then they missed some free throws and it kind of got weird and they panicked. It was just, a bunch of, I don't have one. You brought up the fouling of the Hackatoppin that was going on. But he had finally found his rhythm. So I get the argument. No, I had to leave him in because he was an offensive threat. And, we had to have a guy in there that could grab a rebound. I get why, but in hindsight, you go, maybe you should have done a little bit of more substituting and sacrifice some fouls from other dudes to get him in and out.
I don't even know. It feels like you almost have to try to blow a 9-point lead with 3 minutes left.
There was a sense of momentum lost. Yeah, it's my axiom is if you have a lead at 2 minutes, a 10-point lead at 2 minutes, and you lose, and this is at 2 minutes, it's your fault as a coach. If you're a half-ass coach and you've got 2 or 3 timeouts and you're only kind of in the penalty, only in the bonus, you should be able to time out and time yourself to a win. You just should be able to do that, barring miracles. And at 3 minutes, it's almost an axiom, but not quite, because there's 3 possessions in there that you can't account for.
Yeah.
But it's about as hard as it is to do as what McCasland and his team did. You have to do things wrong in repetition. You have to do it wrong and then do it wrong again and then do something else wrong and do something else wrong. Little things. It's not one big thing. It's a little thing here. You take a shot with 3 extra seconds and you should have waited a second, or you turn it over late in the clock. It's okay, but you still turn it over and they get the ball back and they get a bucket. Little tiny things that great teams don't do, that good teams tend to do in big games.
18-4 in the final 3 minutes. Florida outscored Texas Tech. That is
those last 2 buckets or 3 buckets, I'm not going to fault them for. Those were desperation dunk breakaway.
Either way,
kind of
you
crap.
put up 4 points yourself in the last 3 minutes. You missed several front ends. That's self-inflicted wounds, man. Self-inflicted wounds. I would have loved to see Texas Tech there. I like that team a lot. I thought Chance McMillan return gave them a real chance.
Won the game.
You're right.
The better team in the second half won the game. I wouldn't say the better team won, but the better team at the best time won the game. Tech was game.
They made it their kind of game. They slowed Florida down and just couldn't do it.
And let's give Florida some credit.
They had about 36 minutes in them.
That Walter Clayton Jr. is an absolute killer.
He's a tear.
I mean, he alone carried them into this Final Four.
And it's funny. I was talking. Claymore tweeted me about him. I was like, man, I hope the Mavericks look at him wherever. Mavericks probably picking like 9 or 10. And I was like, oh, he'll be around because NBA scouts don't particularly like him because he is a one-way player. He sucks on defense. But if you got one trick and it's that trick, man, I like you. I like the Walter Clayton trick.
The only problem is the Mavericks had a dude like that. They understand his value. Jalen Brunson, they're essentially the same kind of dude.
Yeah.
They didn't like that kind of thing in Dallas, so I don't think that they would be looking at him if he was available, but just because that doesn't seem to be the thing that Jason Kidd likes.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan. But he's not a first-round draft pick, but he's one of those guys that we'll always remember as just an absolute killer in college, and he'll bounce around in the league maybe.
Well, RIP to Texas Tech. That was the only competitive game of the Elite Eight, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the games weren't competitive. A 10-point lead is not a blowout. It's enough to keep you interested and active as a team. You're never out of it, so you're still going at it. But that's what we had. We had a tournament that went chalk. All of these teams have played in games pretty consistently with 10-point separations. Now, Bama had one for the ages. Seems like they lost their jumper after that. But this was a chalk tournament. Again, I don't think these were great basketball games played by two really good teams.
You thought? I honestly,
these were
I didn't think
high-level played games.
I thought there was one good game all weekend.
Good game and competitive games are two different things. I mean, all of the teams this week played well. Nobody played poorly.
Tennessee played like ass.
Well, they played against a team that understood them and went and just took them out of their game. But even as ass as they played, they stayed within 10 points. I mean, they were there and executed when required. They just played a better basketball team. The teams that are here deserve to be here. They were the best teams.
When you're down 19 at halftime and you lose by 19, you weren't competitive.
That competitive, they didn't lose by 19.
They did.
Well, the game was over at that point about 10 minutes to go in the game. About 8 minutes to go. There was a Zaire foul. What was it? About 8 minutes to go, and they couldn't get their score back in, and it got away from them. But I never felt like Tennessee was gone. They never let them back in.
Man, I felt like they were gone 5 or 6 minutes into the game. I said,
no, it seemed imminent.
They are dead because
I'll say the most imminent game to me was Alabama.
Oh,
I knew Bama was done
too.
within about 6 or 7 minutes because Bama was playing the kind of game to get their guy open. And he couldn't get Sears open. And no matter how they tried, there was just no answer. Tennessee was just missing shots. I mean, they just weren't falling, but they had the shots available to them. Alabama, while it stayed 10 points all game long, they never had a prayer. I mean, it was never, ever going to happen for them. So while that never felt like it was out of hand of all 4 games, I knew early on Bama would, at least Tennessee felt like they might turn around and make some shots. It wasn't like they weren't available. They just weren't making them. Alabama couldn't even find the open man. I mean, there was just nothing to be had.
And then the Auburn-Michigan State game, the final score is much closer than that game was. That was not it was not particular. I mean,
that one was marred by injury.
Yeah.
In
unfortunately,
hindsight, we'll look back and he was seriously hurt and probably shouldn't have been in that game.
Well, we got to figure out that's maybe the biggest question going into the final.
It is a big question, but it's going to make for some great matchups with these 4 teams being here in San Antonio. More on the Final Four and what's going to come to San Antonio along with this Houston and Duke contingent. And then you've got the Florida faithful. It's going to be very, very interesting. We'll get into it next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle. It looks like the tush push is gone. The owners have gathered together. We'll talk NFL and new rules.
And the Final Four festivities kick off here in San Antonio. That and the golf. So much going on in our city. We'll talk about it all. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Being arrested isn't just a setback. It's a nightmare that can destroy your life and reputation. At Barton & Associates, we're here to make sure your one bad night doesn't turn into a lifetime of regret. Contact Barton & Associates today at texasarrest.com. That's texasarrest.com.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin. Bring spring to your door with Target Circle 360. Get all you need for Easter hosting, spring get-togethers, and more with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. From Easter basket goodies to fresh florals, getting everything the same day is easy. Open the Target app and bring the magic of the season to your door with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. Visit target.com/circle or the Target app for more details. Subscription required. Same-day delivery is subject to terms. Applies to orders over $35.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Springtime is here and baseball season is finally underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond to your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, first inning runs, you can take your pick of more or less for your shot of 1,000 times your money cash today. I'll say it again. That's today. Because on Prize Picks, you can match your player projections from different sports. Combine your favorite baseball players with your favorite basketball players. Maybe it's hockey. Maybe it's esports. Maybe it's something else. That's why you download Prize Picks. And what you do with Prize Picks is you win $50 instantly. Go download the app today and use the code ALAMO. That's ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I'll say it again. Download the app right now. Use the code ALAMO. That's $50 instantly. Just play your lineup. Prize Picks. Hey, go run your game. I love Prize Picks because I'm not alone. There's millions of us playing, and you can win. It's easy. More or less. You better go run your game now.
Look, there's feelings, and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me. You can follow me on X, Instagram, all that good stuff. At I am Pledger. You can follow the station at SA Sports Star. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Spurs 1980 says, yo, Pledge, I'm listening from Lola, Kansas for work. I have no clue where that is, but that sounds awful. But thanks for tuning in from Lola, Kansas. That is a very, very flat piece of land out there from what I understand. Goldfinger123 says, feels like a lifetime since I last tuned in. I get it, man. It feels like a lifetime since I've last been on. I appreciate everybody for rolling through tonight. And it's very exciting times. Final Four is set. We got 4 1 seeds. And in my opinion, the 4 best teams from the season this year with Auburn, Duke, Florida, and Houston, all at one point, number 1 overall in the AP poll at some point during the season. And it's going to, especially with the local flair of having Houston here in town, it would have been great to have Tech here, but they kind of, they let it go at the end of that game. And not only did they let it go, man, Florida just, the rebound retreat to the 3-point line and hit a falling away 3. I mean, that a lot of things had to go perfect for them, and a lot of things went perfect for them. Goldfinger's asking, how's my bracket? Still not busted? No, I got 3 of the 4 teams in there. And as a matter of fact, both of my championship teams are still alive as well. Now, the game of the weekend, this coming weekend, may be Duke and Houston. And I know Martin is a big Houston Cougar fan, loves to call in and talk about his Cougs. What's going on, Martin?
I am happier than a pig, and you know what?
I bet so. I bet so, man. Getting to the Final Four, especially getting to the Final Four in a town where you're at, just so you can just be around all the hype. It's got to be amazing.
I'm still hurting from 1984. I don't know what happened.
I get it, but
that's
man,
that's how old I am. You know, Davy Lewis, rest his soul, but he shouldn't have never went into the 4 corners. They should have just attacked.
Look, I think if they get it against Duke, I think the winner of the tournament is coming out of the Duke-Houston game. Period, hands down, in the story.
So. Yes, sir. You know, because those 2 teams, I mean, they're tough.
They
are
like brutal.
Tennessee, they were saying, you know, like in Tennessee, you know, hats to them, but I guess Houston's defense was that much tougher because, I mean, they had no answers.
And
you know?
what gets lost in the sauce because of the domination of Tennessee is their game against Purdue, in which Kelvin Sampson drew up the perfect inbounds play to win that game. And it was just coaching masterclass there in the final seconds of that Purdue win in the Sweet 16.
How old are you, Pledge?
Me, I am turning 44 here in about 10 days.
So in 84, how old were you?
I was 2 going on 3.
Okay, never mind. There was a play that the Cougs back in the day, one of the guards' name was Reed Geddes, and what he would do is what happened there is he would just like a quick pitch to Akeem and a dunk, and that would be it. You know? I mean, because nobody expected that, you know?
It's hard to expect that, but, you know, teams adjusted. NC State managed to shock the world, you know?
I don't know. I just hope that, you know, like you said, if they can beat Duke, and I think they can, I think that's all she wrote. I mean, like Auburn, don't get me wrong, no disrespect to the other teams, but Coach Sampson, he got these guys on the right path now.
He does. And John Shire's got Duke rolling again. And, man, that team is good. It is deep. And the toughest thing about it is they have got the best player in the nation playing for them as well.
They do. They do. But the good thing, the one thing I'm not worried about is there's going to be no drop off next year, because next year they got the best recruiting team in college basketball.
Yep, Kelvin Sampson doing it again, and he is going to keep this team being a basketball powerhouse for the foreseeable future. That is for sure.
I can't wait to see finally we got a big at 7-1 playing.
Josh Jimenez on our YouTube Live says Cooper Flagg's a great player, but that Houston defense is really good. Yes, it is. That's why this, in my opinion, is the game of the tournament.
Have a good day, sir.
You too, Martin. Have a great one. Good luck to your Cougs this weekend. They're definitely going to need it, because I expect this game to very much mirror what happened against Purdue. This one's going to be back and forth down to the wire, and it's going to be very, very difficult for either team to pull away unless one team is just insanely in fire and just hitting shots, contested shots that otherwise most teams would not. And it is going to be an incredible, and on the other side of that too, I think the Auburn-Florida game, a battle of SEC's top two teams, I think that's going to be a really, really, really good game. But I do say, and Goldfinger's reiterating, so would you say the winner of Duke Houston's going to win the chip? Yeah. Whoever comes out of that game, in my opinion, is likely to win the national championship. And in my bracket, I have Duke advancing and winning it all. Not only are they deep, but they have the best player in the nation in Cooper Flagg. And I think when you have one of the best players plus depth, it makes it very, very difficult, because even if you can take Cooper Flagg away, they have a multitude of ways to beat you. It's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out, though, because I think because of the defense and Kelvin Sampson as a head coach, they have a fighter's chance against this, and it is a coin flip type of game that could come down to the final possession. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. If y'all want to get in on the conversation, please come on through, just like Martin did, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776, or you can always comment along on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star on YouTube. Go ahead, like, subscribe. You can comment along with the show and what's going on. Gilbert P says Duke's taking it all. Cougs says he just worries that Houston will get a lead and then start playing not to lose. And that is a fair, there are a lot of teams in college basketball that get comfortable with a big lead and then try and salt away the clock. And they get away from what built them that big lead. And it's a catch-22. It's a double-bladed razor, whatever you want to use as an analogy, because let's face it, you build a lead playing a certain style of basketball. And if you continue to play that way, you continue to play fast, and all of a sudden the shots don't start falling, you allow a team to get back in on you. But if you build a big lead, slow the pace, and then the shots aren't falling, or you start committing turnovers, or you start getting tight because you've changed your style of play that led to it, you can be questioned for that as well. So it's a literal catch-22 for coaches in playing with big leads, if any are happen to get built during these tournament games. Goldfinger 123 says Houston's pretty much playing home court during this game. I wouldn't say that. Duke travels, man. Duke travels. That is a fan base that has the money, the resources, and the ability to buy up their allotment of tickets and make sure that their fan base is proudly represented at any venue. And so as much as Houston can just be a short 3 hours away, and while they may have the overall edge on the outside periphery and all the surrounding events, inside the stadium, getting your hands on tickets, getting in the building, I wouldn't put it past Duke to have this thing closer to 50-50 than you realize, despite Houston's proximity to San Antonio. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I'm James Pledger, right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, the Blitz with Jason and Joe, they were breaking down the Final Four and how it could also potentially play out. We'll get into that next, right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM.
Nigel, what are you doing with all this stuff in the break room? It looks like a farmer's market in here.
I'm changing my eating habits, embracing good quality nutrition with fresh produce.
Call Quarter Moon for your $58.99 AC inspection. For a limited time, just $58.99.
Nigel, that's a pretty impressive healthy salad you've assembled.
Thanks, Joe. Now step back. The grease is hot.
Grease?
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074E M16004.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully. Playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit iffhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. That's exactly what I did. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit orchard.com to get your free home evaluation. That's orchard.com.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count. Because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team. Southern Recipe Small Batch.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases. We do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training. We call that credit where credit is due. Whether you're active duty and looking at what's next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. UMGC keeps your educational goals attainable with no-cost digital materials replacing textbooks in most courses, reduced tuition rates for eligible service members and their families, and scholarships for those who qualify. Get started here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Howdy, San Antonio. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're locked on the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. On our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star, Man M chimes in, says he's glad the Final Four is here this weekend. We finally get to see some good basketball in San Antonio. And he's not lying, and we'll get to the Spurs here coming up in just a minute, but the Final Four is here. We do have good basketball to talk about, things that make you happy, and the Blitz was talking about the Final Four and what it represents earlier today on the Blitz.
In just the third year after Coach K,
On a nice little
Duke is
production venue.
returning to basketball's biggest stage.
War Eagle and the #1 overall seed in the tournament is dancing on the San Antonio Texans.
Florida 84, Texas Tech 79, and the Gators go to San Antonio.
H-Town ready to invade the Alamo City. The Houston Cougars, for the 7th time in school history, are headed to the Final Four. And the #1 seed in the Midwest advancing to San Antonio. And a short 3-hour drive awaits to the Final Four next week.
That's how it sounded here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports over the weekend from Westwood One Radio. Final Four is set. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. It went chalk, huh?
It did. All #1 seeds. Well, that's what we do in San Antonio, though, right? Last time it was here, #1 seed.
Well, in 2008.
2008.
Yeah. 7 years ago, we had Sister Jean.
That's right. We did.
Yeah.
We sure did. Yeah.
Not
I
a 1
forget
seed.
that.
Yeah.
No. Huh.
I'm good with it. Although, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that did exactly what I did. Made my initial bracket that I always do, and I do it quick in less than 2 minutes. Just boom, boom, boom. Then I look at it and go, well, that ain't going to happen. 4 1 seeds, that doesn't happen. Then you go try to find the upsets. And so I took Houston out of getting to the Final Four. Had them losing to Tennessee yesterday in my bracket that's on ESPN.com. The good news for me personally is I'm a one bracket guy generally. This year I have 2 because we're in another group that there's some money involved in that one on Yahoo. So before I made my changes, I put that same bracket together for Yahoo, but I forgot to go change that one. So in that one, I have Houston winning it all and 4 1 seeds in town. On ESPN in our group, I've got Duke winning it all, but I've got 3 of the 4 teams here because it went basically chalk.
I realized that when I looked at the ESPN, I've only got 2 Final Four teams here. I had Wisconsin and Michigan State.
Yep. Michigan State was close.
They were.
But then again, so were a lot of teams. I mean, overall, this tournament, and it was talked about after the first round, with NIL now, the good players, the great players from mid-majors aren't staying at mid-majors anymore, which is part of the reason why everything went chalky. This might be more of the norm just moving forward because for the most part, outside of Duke with all their young talent, which you wondered if that would catch up to them, you've got teams with experience that are at big schools. The one and done isn't quite what it used to be. So you're able to build programs. And, Kelvin Sampson has certainly done that at the University of Houston. And Jim Nance, he couldn't be proud. Jim Nance makes the team photo after the Final Four. And, he talked about all the influence that he had in getting them to the Big 12, calling administrators and, trying to sell. And he used the terms beg and plea that Houston will do you proud. And look at what they've done. I mean, he was right. That's a program that was dormant for a long time.
And I'll tell you what, watching that game yesterday, the intensity that Houston team plays with on defense is just impressive. I mean, it's just impressive. It really is. I'm just sitting there the whole time going, wow, these guys are just all over Tennessee. And they were the entire game. And it flustered Tennessee. And Tennessee is supposedly a pretty good defensive team as well. But Houston was able to score on them. But it was an impressive showing. I'm not sold that Houston is going to win this whole thing. But, man, I tell you, with the defense that they've got, they certainly have a legit shot at it.
Well, I mean, and I don't want to discount Florida or Auburn. Any one of these four teams next Monday night could be cutting down the nets 1 week from tonight. That said, bragging rights bracket with the group, Duke. Money, I got Houston. And the money one, I got all four teams in the Final Four. In fact, right now I'm in first place in that deal. So there's sizable Houston rooting interest there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm with you. And I look at Houston yesterday, as good as they were playing, Tennessee couldn't buy a bucket.
They could not.
They couldn't hit from outside. And I can't say that. I mean, Houston's defense was great. Tennessee had some great looks. They just didn't knock down shots, especially from the three. And 1 of 15 from three in the first half. And that one finally came right before the halftime buzzer. I mean, it was, almost an embarrassing first half. So was that partly Tennessee just not ready for the moment? Did their players, under that big spotlight and the pressure, just fold?
I think that's possible. Could be. It was a bad shooting night. I mean, look at what Alabama did. If they crush BYU and make 25 threes, and then they can't hit anything in the next game.
Yep.
So it just happens. But I think it was partly bad night, and part of it simply was Houston's defense. I mean, my gosh, I was really impressed with that. The problem is now Houston's got to play Duke, and that's a problem. I don't care how good defensively you are. Duke's not, first of all, not going to be flustered by that. And second of all, they're loaded. And I'm talking about Duke. Man, just from top to bottom, they are loaded. And Cooper Flagg is on another planet. I mean, he really is on another planet.
I realize at the games, it's mainly corporate. But if you're from San Antonio and you were able to get tickets to the game, whatever you have to do cheering-wise, make Cooper Flagg feel very welcome. Make sure his parents feel very welcome, just in case this isn't his first big-time basketball game in our city. Just in case. Although, a lot of guys that are coming here that I wouldn't mind seeing in a Spurs uniform down the road. But overall, I mean, I'm with you. Again, not to take anything away from Florida-Auburn, but the late game on Saturday night feels like this should be the championship game. If the brackets were different, Duke and Houston with the chance to play for it all on Monday, I think would be an incredible matchup. Duke Auburn, Duke Florida, Houston Auburn, Houston Florida. I just wonder if we're actually seeing a true national championship game in the second game Saturday. And that's not to take anything away from Florida or Auburn. Both of those teams could end up winning the whole thing.
Well, they could. And Auburn's the overall number one seed.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got four really good basketball teams here in San Antonio, and it ought to be a weekend full of good basketball. I mean, obviously, this thing is going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun. But I'm going to agree with you there. In Florida and Auburn are going to be disrespected, I think, when it comes to that, just because of Cooper Flagg and the Duke Blue Devils, because everybody's going to want to watch that game and is going to be looking forward to that game. Although I think Florida and Auburn is going to be a barn burner too. These two teams know each other, and they know each other very well.
Well, and I've got Florida over Auburn and then losing to Duke in the national championship game in this bracket. In the other bracket, I've got Florida losing to Houston in the championship game where there's money involved. So either way, it's go Gators on Friday or on Saturday. And I do think too, just how fortunate San Antonio is as a host city to get these four teams into the Final Four, because you have no idea. And so had Texas Tech made it, that could have, that'd only be better, right? Because you're going to have so many fans that are going to come in for the games. And whether they're going to the game itself or not, but just the festivities, just to be in town. I imagine there's a lot of Houston Cougars that are going to drive up. You get Duke. You think about their fan base, and they're going to travel. Florida, in all sports, always travels well. Auburn does well. I mean, you know, as much as you like sometimes the upsets in the smaller schools, from a host city standpoint, I imagine the local organizing committee was jumping up and down when they knew who was going to come here, because they're all major powerhouse programs that travel well.
Well, yeah, sure, they're happy about it, and they should be. But think about all the restaurants and hotels and all of that stuff downtown as well that are just going to rake it in this weekend. Look, I have a feeling about Thursday people will arrive. Friday's going to be crazy. Saturday will be nuts as well. And then you have two teams' fan bases leaving. So it's going to be a fun weekend, though, downtown.
No doubt it's going to be a fun weekend downtown. And we invite you to be a part of that fun weekend downtown. The Blitz will be broadcasting live on Friday out of the Final Four festivities. It'll be a Flight Friday down on the Riverwalk, presented by Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beers, and your Hoops headquarters at the Agave Bar and Serape Room on the Riverwalk. Whether you're heading to the festivities downtowns or the games, this is the perfect stop to kick things off with our friends by Flight by Yuengling. Jason and Joe will be broadcasting live this Friday from 2 to 6. Flight will be there before each game, offering pregame beers. So get some food, get some cold flights all weekend long, starting this Friday, 2 to 6 at the Agave Bar and Serape Room down there, presented by Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. And speaking of Fan Fiesta and everything that's going on downtown, April 4th through the 7th, we've got the Final Four Fan Fest down at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center, presented by Capital One. It's a sports wonderland with interactive games, giveaways, celebrities, appearances, etc. Plus, don't forget about the music festival downtown with artists like Pitbull, Jilly Roll, Chris Stapleton. We've got your tickets, or we've got a chance for you to save money on tickets to the Fan Fest down at the Henry B. Convention Center. 50% off with promo code Alpha Media 25 at ncaa.com/MFF for men's Final Four /events. So that's ncaa.com/MFF /events. Enter code Alpha Media 25 for half off tickets to FanFest. Coming back, we have a little bit more to get into, especially we talked about earlier, Man M was saying he's glad the Final Four is here this weekend to see some good basketball. Well, we haven't been seeing good basketball from the San Antonio Spurs. And man, I tell you what, I may be done with a certain player. We'll discuss coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hola, mi esposo se lastimó en un accidente ayer. ¿Me puede ayudar?
Claro que sí. Estamos aquí para servirle.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7. Our team of Texas attorneys has been helping people injured in car, truck, or 18-wheeler wrecks for more than 25 years. And there's no fee unless we win. Y hablamos español. If you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again, because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by tax relief advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147 or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary. I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Made in America, highest quality. That's Connecticut Quality Water Softeners. There's a reason Dave Ramsey says a Connecticut is a wise investment for your home.
Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy.
So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it.
It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country. 210-656-PURE.
Check them out at ConnecticutSA.com. And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
License number 38961.
ConnecticutSA.com. The Valero Texas Open is a can't-miss event. Here's your chance to enjoy food, drinks, and the world's best PGA Tour pros as they tee it up at TPC San Antonio. You won't want to miss the next defining, unexpected, and winning moments at the Valero Texas Open. Proceeds help us continue a long-standing tradition of giving back to our community. Buy tickets on ValeroTexasOpen.com and join us April 3rd through the 6th.
This is AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Join me and Rob Thompson tomorrow morning at 6 for the perfect ride to work on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, SASportsStar.com. I am James Pledger. Appreciate y'all rolling through with me today. I was on Locked On Spurs today with Jeff Garcia of Spurs Zone, at Jeff G Spurs Zone. He of Ken's 5 Spurs Digital Reporter. And we were talking about, there was a Brett Siegel tweet that came out over the weekend, and they were talking a lot about, Devin Vassell could be something the Spurs look to move this offseason. Then it was tied to Kevin Durant. And then there's a lot to get into with it. But Man M says Sohan's his guess too, but I would have been that way about Vassell for a while. Look, Vassell is $30 million of a piece that doesn't fit with the starting lineup. And it feels like they're compelled to make him fit as the starter because of what they're paying him. Now, can he work off the bench? I think so, but he is a volume scorer the same way that Keldon Johnson is. He needs the ball in his hands. And we saw early in the year when Stephon Castle was starting because Devin Vassell was not, because he was coming back from injury. Castle plays well off the ball, doesn't need the ball in his hands to be efficient in how he scores. Same goes for Kevin Durant, which is why I think he's a piece that would fit. Devin Vassell seemingly needs to be able to get the ball, get his shots, get in himself forced into the offense instead of the offense kind of working through him. And I just don't know if that's when you're building around a Fox and a Wemby and now a Castle, like how you can't have 8 lead dogs, which is why we've seen a lot of these super teams fail in recent years. It's not the fact that they're super teams, it's how the super teams are constructed. And if somebody like a Dwayne Wade or LeBron James or whoever it may be in said super teams, Kevin Durant with Golden State, is willing to take a back seat and accept a role of where he needs to be in order for it to be successful. And I'm not sure Devin Vassell is that piece here on the San Antonio Spurs, but check it out at Locked On Spurs. It's on YouTube. You can watch me there or just listen to it wherever you get your stuff, Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. Locked On Spurs. We talk about the future and if Devin Vassell is a fit for the San Antonio Spurs. That's going to do it for me today. We will be back tomorrow. We are here this week, unlike last week. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. Don't forget, Rob and AJ get you started tomorrow morning right here, starting at 6. Then Jason and Joe with the Blitz from 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Be sure to reach out to those you love. Tell them that you've been thinking about them. You never know what people are going through in this life. And a simple, hey, how you doing, buddy? Been thinking about you can do a lot more for somebody than you could even believe. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Carbach Brewing was not born in San Antonio, Texas, but they have certainly gone out of their way to make San Antonio their second home. We had the head brewer come in, and he said when they first started to reach outside of Houston, San Antonio was the place they wanted to be, and does it show. Carbach beer is all over our great city, from their in-your-face flagship IPA, Hopadillo, to the Ziegenbach, to their best seller, the Love Street, their Kolsch-style blonde. There is something for everyone in Carbach's lineup, and it is all over the place. Of course, you're going to find it at the grocery stores. Of course, you're going to find it at the liquor stores, but it's also at a bunch of bars and restaurants around town. They wanted to make this their second home, and that's what it's become. So when you're out, you're watching the games at your local sports bar, your local restaurant, your local hangout, you're thinking, I want to elevate my beer game a little bit. Well, friend, wherever you're at, they probably have some Carbach either on tap or in cans. So when you're out and about doing your thing, go ahead and make sure to ask your bartender to please make it a Carbach.
Your marriage is over. You know it. Your friends know it. Take back control now with Barton & Associates, an aggressive, no-nonsense team of attorneys ready to fight for what you deserve. Contact us today at TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo. Jason Minix here. Let's talk about health as we age. It may feel like you're lacking energy or strength, always moody, or libido isn't what it used to be. Any of these could be caused by low testosterone. Go get tested at Synergenics Testosterone Weight Loss. Their patient-first VIP experience is fast and easy. I recommend Synergenics because their personalized therapy goes beyond standard treatments. They've been the go-to experts in TRT for over a decade. They also have affordable GLP-1 weight loss options. Get started at SynergenicsHealth.com.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why